Hello. I hope everyone's having a great day today. I definitely feel like the day is moving, it's flowing. Um, I just always feel like when the time changes, it just does something to my soul. Like I definitely I feel the difference from the time shifting and changing to what it is before during wintertime. I just feel like my body just adjusts better at this time rather than the other time. I don't know. I don't know. No matter how long it goes, I just feel like my body never adjusts the way that it needs to. And then by the end of it, like my body feels so drained and tired. And then it changes, it shifts. And then my body's tired from the shift. But then it's like my body gets energized at like shortly after. And it's like, yes, finally. So like, it's just a confusing thing. But, either way, I'm glad that the weather is looking good. It's feeling good. I'm gonna go on a run with my dog after this probably, but I really hope that this 3A triple A success strategy, it supports you and allows you to understand that change is happening and it will happen for you if you want it, if you go get it, if you desire it, and if you use this triple A success strategy and understanding how to develop a healthy lifestyle, establishing that healthy lifestyle, and sticking with it, it will allow you to do all three of those things. And this also can be placed in other areas of your life because this success strategy really is a foundation that comes from scripture, it comes from life, it comes from science. Like everything about this success strategy allows you to understand that you have to have these three key steps in order for any change to happen in your life, any shift to happen in your life. And we do it subconsciously. And so I want us to become consciously aware. And I want us to understand that this triple A success strategy is going to allow us to transform our life for vibrant living. And so if we want to live vibrantly, if we want to understand how to live vibrantly, the first thing for us is to understand that what we're doing currently is not supporting us, it's not helping us. And so since the things that we're doing now currently are not supporting us and they're not helping us and they're not allowing our lifestyle to be energetic and us to live vibrantly, we have to start understanding and shifting the habits that we have that are leading us to the lifestyle that we don't want. And so awareness is the first A that we're going to discuss, is awareness. Awareness is how you are able to understand that what I'm currently doing right now is not supporting me. What is currently going on is not supporting me. And understanding that this entire series that we've been going through for this Purge the Poison is the A. This is the awareness. This is you becoming aware of the toxic ingredients inside of your food, the toxic chemicals and additives that are added inside of your food that you keep consuming knowingly or unknowingly, and becoming aware that these toxic chemicals, these toxic ingredients, these additives, and these fillers are storing inside of your body. They're not helping you be healthy, and they're truly harming you to the point where you are going to develop a illness or a disease if you have not already. And this illness and disease is going to lead you to leaving this earth earlier than what you're designed to. You're going to be sick all of your life. You're going to be sick and struggling, and your body is trying to play catch up. And this is leading you to having an unhappy life. You cannot do this thing is. Let's say you go to the store and you're like, okay, I'm gonna buy a little bit of beans. I'm gonna limit myself to how much I'm gonna buy and stock up in store just in case we have a power outage. I'm gonna buy some beans so then I can just heat them over my little bonfire outside and I can have some canned beans. You put a limit on that. You put a restriction. You buy these beans. But over time, as you buy these beans, every time you go to the grocery store, you buy 2, you buy 5, however many, and you only limit yourself to maximum of 5. Over time, let's say you've been doing this since January and you do this all the way until you get into October, and then the power cuts off because it starts snowing. Now you have a build up of all these beans that you've been buying since January. You have tons of beans. Every time you go into the store, you've bought 2 to 5 cans of beans. So you have plenty of beans you've stored up for you to be able to sustain yourself through the power outage, so that you do not have to sit here and try to figure out what you're going to eat because everybody's power is out. So now you're outside cooking your food over like, if you are buying this food and you're eating, let's say you're just like, okay, I'm only gonna allow myself to go to the grocery store. When I go to the grocery store, I buy myself one snack. You go to the grocery store 5 times a month. You say, okay, I've been to the grocery store 5 times this month. I'm only gonna buy a snack 2 times next month. And you alternate between that. What do you think over time, from that little bit, from you going from January to, let's say, October again, if you've bought 5 and then you went to 2 and then you went to 5 and then maybe you did 2 for a couple of months and you hit all the way to October, and you look back and you think, and you're like, every time I went to the grocery store, I got myself something sweet. I limited myself. I did it in moderation. But over time, every single time you bought that, you never released, you never learned how to detox, you never looked at the ingredients and understood what you were doing to your body. So all of those toxins stored inside of you, all those toxic ingredients stayed inside of you, and it led you to inflammation. So let's say now, here it is another year, you do the same thing because you believe that you're consuming in moderation. So now you've been consuming this way since January of last year, and you're on to October of the next year. Now all of a sudden you're sitting here and they're telling you that you're pre-diabetic. And so you're sitting here and you're like, I wonder how I got pre-diabetes symptoms. Okay, well, let me just knock it down and I'm going to do 2. So then you do this for the next year, and not realizing, once again, you're not releasing, you're not detoxing, you're not allowing yourself to be able to get these toxins out of your body. You're consuming every single day without actually releasing and resetting. And so you are aware that there's a problem. You're aware that you are consuming in moderation, but you're not bringing awareness enough for you to change your lifestyle, to change the habits that you currently have. You're just limiting. And so now, here it is another year later, and you're sitting here and you're trying to figure out what's going on. And so then you're trying to find alternative sugars because nothing has changed for your health. So you're finding these alternative sugars, and you've stumbled upon aspartame. And so you're like, okay, aspartame is a artificial sweetener that is not an actual sugar. And so you think that's easier, and that's something that you should be using because it's not a real sugar. And on top of that, it's an alternative that is put inside of diet sodas, diet snacks, all of these things. And so you think that aspartame is going to support you in this situation. Aspartame is 10 times sweeter than normal, regular processed, overly processed white sugar or brown sugar. And so you're like, I'm just going to use it in moderation, not realizing that aspartame has been listed as a carcinogen. It's terrible for your body, and it's a man-made artificial sugar. So you're better off consuming the white sugar that was already harming you, but now you've fallen into the facade of getting into the lifestyle of consuming man-made processed sugars. And so man-made artificial sugars, not processed, artificial sugars. And so you're sitting here thinking, this is helping me. So this is your alternative now. You switch to this, not realizing that you need a healthy, real alternative to the issue that you're having. And so you're sitting here thinking that this man-made artificial product is going to support you. And so now here you are, you go back to the doctor. Let's say it's been a couple of years and your doctor has been like, you're doing the same, like he has okayed your switch, but like we haven't seen a big difference. And now here you are 2 or 3, 4 years later, after everything has built up inside of you, you've gained weight, you're dealing with bloating, you're dealing with obesity now, and you're sitting here trying to figure out, like, I have skin tags going on, my skin is suffering. So I have skin tags, I have acne going on, I'm getting a whole bunch of scars, and you're getting all of these pre-diabetic symptoms, and your doctor looks at you and says, you have diabetes, you have developed diabetes. So now you're sitting here trying to figure out how in the world, because you've changed your habits. You've changed the habit for yourself. You have established a new habit that's supposed to be supporting you, but you never changed your lifestyle. You never changed to healthier habits. You changed the habit, but you never changed it to a healthier one. So you became aware of an issue, but you never find the correct solution. You never found the success strategy. You never found the success strategy that was going to lead you to a healthier lifestyle. You just found the strategy for you to be able to consume the way you wanted to. You never wanted the success of being healthier. You wanted the success of, how can I keep doing what I'm doing and not have to sit here and get worse, not realizing that you were self-sabotaging yourself. And so that awareness did nothing for you. It did not support you. The awareness that you thought was being brought into your attention, and that you found a solution in your brain by you thinking that you can still do whatever you wanted to do and just find an alternative switch, rather than realizing that when you were brought to that awareness, it was time for you to start switching to healthier alternatives, real food, real sugars, not man-made processed sugars, not man-made alternative sugars. You need a real natural sugar. And so now you're sitting here with this awareness, and you're accepting the fact that it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have diabetes for the rest of my life. You're telling yourself that false narrative. And the next A is acceptance. And so you've accepted that false reality. You've accepted that false narrative for yourself. And so now that you've accepted that false narrative for yourself, you're trying to figure out, how in the world can I sit here and deal with diabetes? I want to eat sugar. I want to eat, drink my sodas and drink my Diet Cokes or whatever else. I want to sit here and eat the cookies. I want to be able to put my sugar in my oatmeal. Like, I want to be able to do all these things, and I can't do it anymore. I can't drink my sugary juices. And you're aware that your life has been completely altered, but that awareness did not bring you to making change. So you've just accepted the fact that you're going to have diabetes for the rest of your life. You've accepted that you're going to be giving yourself insulin shots for the rest of your life. And you've accepted that one day this is going to take you out because you're not changing the food that you're eating. And so now the next A is activation. You have activated a life. You have activated a lifestyle of you sitting here making yourself have to suffer through a disease, suffer through an issue, suffer through an illness. And that's because you sat here and accepted that you have activated a disease, and that you've accepted that you're not going to find change, and you've accepted the unhealthy habits that you have, because it's easier for you to be able to continue doing the same thing that you're doing, rather than you figuring out an alternative, figuring out a change for yourself. And so through that, you have activated a lifestyle of you being unhealthy, activated a lifestyle of you suffering, activated a lifestyle of you continuously doing things that are harming your body. So now you're activating diabetes. And let's say it goes on and you do this for years, because you're sitting here thinking like, well, aspartame is the healthier version. And maybe you do a little bit more research and you try other alternative sugars like Splenda and all those other things. These are still man-made alternative sugars. And so you're trying all these things that are not natural, because you're not going to a natural path. You're not going a natural way, because you realize that natural holistic methods are something that society has shunned, that your doctor is telling you is not going to work, because they can't tell you anything differently, because they have not been taught that. They have not been scientifically proven to show you those things. It has not been scientifically proven for you to be shown those things, because that's not what the program that they went through shows you and shows them to tell you. So you're sitting here now. Hold on, my dog turned off the thing. Hold on. So you're sitting here now trying to figure out, how in the world have you gotten to this point? How have you activated such unhealthy fallout in your life? And so you're never making change, though. You might be asking a few questions, and then you leave the doctor, months pass, and you get over it, because you realize you have accepted the fact that you're going to have diabetes, and you have activated a life of you being unhealthy. Let's fast forward some years. Now you're sitting here and you're suffering from your diabetes, and your doctor comes and tells you you also have developed high blood pressure over this time. And so they're like, okay, we're going to put you on high blood pressure medicine. You're still going to we're going to uptake your diabetes medicine, because we're noticing that your insulin is not balancing the way that it should on the current one. And so you accept all these things, because like I said, you don't believe in holistic medicine because your doctor told you not to believe in it. Your doctor has been told to not push these things, or to tell you that these things could work, because that's something they can't profit on. That's something they didn't learn through a scientific method that they have. And then they also are paid through you being sick. So moving on, months later, you come back to the doctor, maybe it'd be years later, and then they look at you and they say, okay, like, I see you've been taking your medicine and all these other things, but you're having some issues and we want to take you in and we want to get you scanned out. They want to get you checked out. They're getting you scans. They're doing all these tests because something is going on with you. You develop more issues. You're not able to lose weight anymore. You seem like you're constantly sick, in and out of the doctor. You're fatigued all the time. You're mentally fogged. You're starting to develop all of these issues that are going on inside of your gut and everything else. And they come back to you and they're telling you, like, it seems like you're having issues in your gut area, so we're going to give you an ultrasound. We're going to do all these other things. And they're taking you back and forth through all of these tests. And then they look at you and they tell you that you have some type of cancer. All of this, because that's all it does, is all these toxins, all these issues they build on and build on, has led you to having cancer, because you accepted a lifestyle of you not changing your habits. You just accepting the fact that you're going to have a disease, accepting the fact that your lifestyle is what it is, because that is how past relatives have taught you. Your society, peers, all these people have pushed on you and has taught you, and that everybody does it this way and it's not accepted to do it any other way. Telling you of yourself a false narrative that you can't change can't be made for you. And so now you've sat here and given yourself an illness, and you've given yourself a disease, and now you've led yourself to cancer. And so it's like, now you're suffering through all of these things all at once, and then on top of that, you're leaving this earth earlier than you're supposed to, because your body cannot survive on these things. Your body cannot survive with it trying to fight these toxins, to fight these things that are going on inside of your body, trying to fight cancer. You're going through radiation and chemo, and you have to understand, when you develop a disease, and it's a long-term disease, an illness, a chronic disease, cancer, it ages your cells on the inside. It ages your organs on the inside. And so, yeah, cells, they, reproduce and they die off. But when you're sick and when you're diseased and when you have things like cancer, your cells are not replicating the way that they should. Your cells are not dying off the way that they should. And the cells that are dying off are usually the healthy cells. And when you have cancer, the cancer cells are multiplying. And when you have diseases going on inside of your body is trying to work, just trying to fight the disease, to get the toxins from that's leading you to have the disease getting out. And so all of the other functions can't function the way they need to, because it's too busy trying to regulate the disease. And so your organs are working overtime every single day. And so from it working overtime every single day, you are aging your organs 3 to 4 times of what they should be. And that's in science. Like I said, I'm going to go through, it's going to be scientific. It's going to be more than just me talking. It's going to be science, scripture, and psychology. Looking into it, there has been studies of people dying, unaliving, and then doctors looking at their bodies, doing their autopsy, I think that's how you say it, and going through and looking at these people who have passed and doing studies on their bodies, and they've noticed a pattern that these people's organs are aged well past what they lived. So like, people are dying earlier and earlier. So people in their 40s and 50s are having all of these organs look like they've been here 80, 90 years. And so they're looking at these corpses and they're realizing that something is going on, but they're not putting 2 and 2 together to allow you to understand, and telling you it's the food that you're consuming, because the toxins build up inside of you, and since they're built up inside of you, they're storing and they're staying there. And so that's why it's so important for you to become aware, and for you to understand that you have to know what the food that is going inside of your body. You have to know what is happening. And if you do not know the ingredients that are in your food that you are consuming, then you are harming your insides. You are harming your body. And that's the reason why my ebook is so powerful, because it's just going into common basic ingredients that will support you. And it's only $11. Like, it's truly going to allow you to understand that if you are consuming unawarely and consuming these toxic chemicals, these man-made ingredients, these additives, these fillers, these heavy metals, and you're doing this over time, they're building up inside of you, you're aging your internal organs, you're aging your body, and you're making yourself ill. And why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you accepting a life of making yourself ill? It makes absolutely no sense to keep doing this to yourself. So let's move on from the negative side of thinking of just developing the illness and being sick and suffering and unaliving earlier on this earth. And let's go back to our first A, which is awareness. And so let's say that you are that person that got told that, okay, you had pre-diabetic symptoms, and that awareness hit you. And you were like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and develop diabetes. So this awareness has now brought me to the point where I realize that my lifestyle is not helping me. It's not supporting me. And since it's not supporting me and helping me being healthy and staying in a healthy state, what do I need to do? Because obviously what I'm doing currently is not helping me. So then you start to do research. You start to look into different things and start to realize that there are so many man-made sugars that we consume. Like I've listed before, we're going to list them again. Like aspartame, Splenda, like all of these man-made, heavily processed white sugars, brown sugars, and we should not be eating them because they're heavily processed and they're man-made. And so we're sitting here consuming these things and they're making us sick, and they're storing in our fat cells. They're storing and they're making us toxic. And so now you're like, okay, what are the other alternatives that I can do to support myself? Because I am aware and I have accepted the fact that I do not want to be sick. And so now that you've accepted the fact that you do not want to be sick, and you've accepted the fact that your lifestyle is not supporting you, the lifestyle that you're currently living is not supporting you, now that you're accepting that, you're like, how in the world do I shift? What can I do to shift? You start looking up natural real sugars. You start to use honey. You start to use things that are going to support your body and not put you in an inflammatory state. You start to use cane sugar, all natural sugars. You really focus on you using your honey when you want to sweeten things. And so now you're sitting here and you've gone back to the doctor and they have told you, you know what? I don't see any more pre-diabetic symptoms. They're asking you like, you've been really taking care of your health. It's amazing. I see it. You get the acceptance, you get the awareness, and then you get the activation of realizing that what you're doing is supporting you. You are aware that what you're doing is supporting you. And now you've accepted the lifestyle that you're living is supporting you. It's helping you. And so let's say that's just one area. Now you move it on to all the areas in your life. Knowing and reading ingredients. And so you're sitting here like, I'm no longer going to consume these ingredients that have these toxic chemicals inside of them. And so you're sitting here and you're like, yep, it's time for me to start eating real whole foods. You go back to the basics. You realize that it's time to go back to the basics because you are aware that what you were doing before was not helping you. What you were doing before was making you sick. It was making you ill. And the basics, you look at it, when you look at a kid, when you look at a baby, when we feed babies baby food, we do not give them meat. And I mean outside of infant formula, when you start giving your baby food because they have grown their first teeth, when you start giving them purees and all these things, what do you give a baby? You do not sit there and give them meat. You do not sit there and give them, well, some people do, but you should not be giving them inflammatory dairy because it's inflammatory. You should be giving them whole real food. And we have been tricked by society to believe that the milk that we are consuming is okay and healthy, and we should be giving our child another animal's milk, because the children who are still consuming their mother's breast milk and they're also consuming purees, pure purees, not the ones that you get at the store that are containing heavy metals and all these other things, but homemade purees, those kids are the healthiest kids that you've ever seen, because I've seen it, I've witnessed it. And it's even studies showing that if you puree the food yourself and you make their own baby food, it's the healthiest option for you. It's the healthiest option for them. And also as well, seeing the difference between a breastfed baby versus the baby who is drinking formula or drinking milk from another animal, you see the complete difference. You see how inflamed that child is that's drinking that dairy. You hear all the mucus in their throat when they're drinking it, and when they get done and they're coughing it up and they're spitting it up and everything else. Babies who consume breast milk, very rarely, now if your child obviously has some stomach issues going on and they just happen to throw up constantly, that's one thing, but they very rarely throw up their milk after being burped. They very rarely throw up, or burping, because they also burp themselves as they get older, but like they very rarely have all the issues that you see with versus the children who drink in formula and drink dairy milk. Because when you burp them, when they burp themselves, whatever, they spit up a lot. You hear it. They might swallow it, but it's like there's just so many things that give you signs to tell you that child is inflamed, and you ignore them. And then you move on and you start to realize that that child does not need all this inflammatory dairy. You move on and you realize you don't need inflammatory dairy, because we're going back to, which I got on a tangent, but we'll go back to the person who realized that like the lifestyle was not supporting them the way that it should. It was not doing what it needed to do. And so Then they were like, you know what I'm going to do for myself? I'm going to no longer eat dairy. I'm no longer going to eat meat. And if I have a family in the house, we're all going to start implementing healthier habits because the doctor has cleared me. I no longer am pre-diabetic symptoms. I have changed my lifestyle around because I no longer eat these things. And I am aware of how successful this strategy of me not consuming a bunch of processed junk is. And me reading ingredients and reading my labels and understanding and starting to do research on these companies and the labels that they're putting on these foods. Now you're in a state where you're like, okay, you've accepted this healthy lifestyle. You've accepted these healthier habits, and you have activated a healthy lifestyle for yourself because you have accepted it. And so you're in a space now where that activation has allowed you to become as healthy as you possibly could be, healthier than you've ever been in your life. And now you're passing that on to your future generations. Your kids understand a healthy lifestyle, and it's not hard for them to switch it up and change it because you are leading by example. Your family is leading by example, and you are all healthy in your household. You're saving money. You're saving time from having sick kids all the time. You are allowing yourself and your future children and your husband and whoever else is in your household to overall enjoy their life because you were able to live vibrantly every single day because you are consuming food that is giving you nutrition. It is helping your body be able to release normally and to reset itself every single day, so you're not sitting there built up with toxins. And you are also allowing your body to be in a healthy state so that you do not develop illnesses and diseases, have to keep going to the doctor, keep taking medications, sitting here taking cough medicine, cold medicine, all these things because you're on and off inflamed and sick from consuming dairy and all these other inflammatory foods. Realizing that the lifestyle that you have embodied is supporting you. The lifestyle that you want for yourself is supporting you, which is a healthy, happy lifestyle. And that lifestyle is you going back to the basics and understanding that you have to be plant-based in this situation. There is no way for you to get back to total health consuming the way that you are. And so just like that little infant baby who was sitting there consuming the plant-based meals that he was having before, because you're not feeding a child a steak when they're first eating, when they're eating purees. You're feeding them peas. You're feeding them carrots, pureed sweet potatoes. You're feeding them all of these things that can be pureed, all these basic foods. And they're all pure, real, whole foods. And not saying that you have to go to purees or juicing or anything like that, because you can eat these foods in whole forms. You can even cook these foods because nobody's telling you have to go to a raw diet. But what I'm saying is that you have to get back to the real basic foods. Now, it's better for you to eat things raw. It's amazing for you to eat things raw. But when you are switching, the worst thing for you to do is to sit here and put yourself in a space of you not wanting to do it because you're trying to force yourself to live a lifestyle that somebody else told you that you have to do it this way. You have to go about it this way. Rather understand that everybody's journey is going to look differently, but at the end of the day, the path is the same direction, which is to live a healthy life. And if you want to live a healthy life, you have to start consuming whole foods, whole, real fruits and vegetables, consuming the organic, and stop consuming a bunch of processed chemicals, processed foods, because the processed chemicals are inside of your meat. The processed chemicals are inside of these foods that you get off the grocery store shelves, and it's in your dairy. Stop consuming them. Stop listening to them telling you that you can consume these things in moderation, because they're storing inside of you. They're making you sick. They're making you ill, and you will continue to suffer because you're eating these things thinking that you can consume them in moderation. If you want to live a healthy lifestyle, if you want to develop healthy habits for yourself so that you're not developing illnesses and diseases and leading yourself to cancer, you have to make a shift. And if you already have these diseases, if you already are suffering from an illness, a chronic disease, there is a solution for you outside of medication. There is healing for you outside of medication. And Western medicine has fooled you so much to you believing that there is no cure, and that's false. That's not true. There is a cure. If you want the cure, if you want the solution, you have to get back to real whole foods. You have to stop poisoning yourself with what you're doing, because obviously the habits and the action that you have right now are not supporting you, because here you are with the problem and you're not finding any solutions. And even for people who are born with these things, there's an imbalance. That means that the imbalance was inside of your parent, whether it was your mother or your father. It was passed down to you. And you develop that, and it can become active, because it could have been dormant in them, but it can become active in you. And so that's the real, it's passed down generation to generation. Because at the end of the day, if your parents are eating inflammatory foods, if they're eating any kind of way, and they're eating a whole bunch of crap, honestly, just a whole bunch of crap, that crap is not leaving. It's toxins built up, and then you store inside of your mother the toxins that are stored inside of your father. Then you and your mother, when they come together, they make the cell and they make you. They store and they build inside of you. So as you grow, they grow. And so you develop these things, you have these things, and you're born with them, or you develop them later on in life. However, but as you grow and you become older, your habits and your actions activate them if you were not already born with them. The habits and the actions that you take towards your own health, towards your own body, they activate them. And even if you were unawareingly, young and you couldn't do anything about it, it's still understanding that the habits that you were taking, the actions that you were making towards your body were not supporting your body. And so you put your body in a distressed state. And that distressed state came out as inflammation, toxin buildup, and illness. And then developed an illness. It came out as an illness. And so we want to take this AAA success strategy: awareness, acceptance, and activation, and understand that you are going to become aware. Either you're helping your body or you're harming your body. How are you going to activate you being in a healthy lifestyle? Or are you going to activate you being unhealthy and staying in an inflamed, unhealthy state, to activating yourself, to making yourself diseased and sick? Because the entire Purging Poison series has brought awareness to you. It is bringing awareness to you, and it's keeping you aware, whether you're watching my TikToks or you're sitting there watching my long forms on YouTube, because this entire live is going to be posted on YouTube. The awareness that you are given through knowing what's going on inside of your body and understanding what is happening inside of your body, and taking the guidance and advice from your doctors, because I'm not saying not go to the doctor. That's one thing I want you to understand, is I'm never saying not to go to the doctor, but I want you to understand that that person is there to tell you what is wrong. It is up to you to decide, what are you going to do to help your body? What are you going to do to support yourself? Because at the end of the day, you can get told all day that you're sick. You can get told all day that you have X, Y, and Z. And if you're going to take medication and subscription and prescriptions, they're not helping you heal. So is that what you want, to be managing a disease for the rest of your life, or do you want to actually heal? Because managing a disease looks like you taking your prescription, you taking a chemo or radiation treatment, something that is harming your body even further, in order to find a successful solution to something, and something that is literally putting your body in a toxic state to the point where you are unaliving. And over time, if you take a prescription and you're never healing it, you are managing a disease. You taking these chemo and radiation treatments is literally killing off the good and bad cells inside of you, almost unaliving you. And so then now it's leading you to a point where you don't even want to be here on this earth, because you look terrible, you feel bad, and then you get to the space where hopefully you do get rid of all those cells inside of your life. You're having to rebuild yourself back up. You're having to get yourself back to the health that you were before. And then you're hoping and avoiding that ever coming back in your life. And you're sitting here hoping and avoiding by getting constantly checked out and hoping that you're still in remission. Hoping. Never actually changing the lifestyle, because you were aware that the things that you were doing, the foods that you were consuming, were the ones that were harming you, the ones that were allowing toxins to build up inside of your body. And so you activated cancer inside of your body, because cancer is dormant. It is a dormant disease that gets eaten up by your healthy cells, if you have enough healthy cells to fight them off. If you are doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, that are supposed to support you, that support your body in getting full nutrients, support your body in being healthy. But if you have nothing to kill off, to fight off, to eat the cancer cells and to kill them off, those healthy cells inside of your body are already trying to fight to do everything else in your body to help fight all the diseases and illnesses you have going on. And then the cancer eats and takes over, and it eats up the healthy cells. It starts to fight them, and then, it's aggressive. A lot of strands are aggressive, so it completely takes over. And that's all because you activated with the things that you're consuming. You've activated with the junk that you're eating. And you have to make change in order for you to quit. You have to make change for yourself if you want healthy habits. If you want a healthy lifestyle for yourself. If you want a life of you becoming aware and understanding what is in your food so that you can support your body in being healthier, so that you can live a vibrant, energetic lifestyle, and so that you can no longer be mentally fogged, suffering from fatigue, obesity. You're sitting here having no more bloating. You're not sitting here dealing with painful menstrual cycles. You're not in pre-diabetic symptoms. You're not dealing with high blood pressure, diabetes, and leading yourself to cancer or already suffering from cancer. You have to understand how to support your body, and it starts with awareness that what you're doing currently is not supporting you. And then move to your acceptance. Accept the commitment that you want change for yourself. Accept the commitment that you will make change for yourself. And that understanding that there are always going to be challenges when establishing healthier habits, establishing new habits, and leading yourself to a new lifestyle. There's going to be challenges that come up, but the basis of you knowing and wanting the healthy lifestyle is going to keep you on track. It is going to keep you committed to yourself, because this is a commitment to yourself, and this commitment leads you to activation. And that activation is through you understanding that you have to seek change. You have to seek the guidance. You have to seek the awareness of, how am I going to do this for myself? How do I help myself heal? How do I change the habits that I currently have to healthier ones? How do I make myself the best version of me so that I can live vibrantly and energetically? If you want to know how to do these things for yourself through starting with the foods that you're consuming, starting with the foods that you're consuming, and eating the correct way that is going to support your body and allowing your body to get the full nutrients that it needs to be multiplying and making healthier cells, and to be in a healthy state, to be vibrant, to be energetic, then first thing is for you to understand you have to stop consuming unknowingly, consuming all this junk. Know what's in your food, read the ingredients, know what the ingredients mean, read every label, and if you don't know what the ingredient is, you don't know what it means, put it back and do not buy it. And the basis of you getting to understand what is in your food, to understand these ingredients, is you getting my $11 ebook, because it's showing you the common toxic ingredients that are inside of your food, showing you how to read the labels, giving you alternatives for you to be able to switch to, and showing you how easy the switch can be. There's even non-plant-based options in there just to get you acquainted to understanding how to shift. And there are plenty of plant-based options in there, but I want everyone to feel like that they can use this guide wherever stage journey that they're at, where they feel like they just want healthier habits. If you want to go plant-based, there are plenty of plant-based options in there, but understanding how to read the labels is the start. And if once you get to that point, if you're like, yes, I love this, like I want to be able to read the labels, I want to be able to support myself, and I've read this and I love it and I want more, I need more, because I want the healthy lifestyle that I deserve. I have accepted this and I want to activate it. Then my masterclass is going to support you, because that masterclass is truly impactful. It is going to be life-changing information. That information in that masterclass is going to support you in, first of all, transforming your lifestyle into a vibrant one by getting out of the mindset of thinking that this is not possible for you, thinking that it's a pessimistic, negative thing to put a negative connotation on it, that it's going to be limits, that you're going to be restricted, that you're not going to have any fun in this lifestyle, that this lifestyle is not going to actually support you because nobody around you is doing this, and getting into the optimism and understanding that you are the motivation for yourself. You will be able to enjoy this, and you will be able to prosper. And not only, but the other people around you will be able to see what you've done for yourself, see how healthy you've become, and realize that the lifestyle is easy, it's possible, and that you deserve that health and they deserve that health too. And through your energetic, vibrant energy that you will bring to the room, through you releasing the mental fog, the fatigue, the obesity, the excess fat, the bloating, everything, you releasing all of those things and being able to embody the lifestyle with ease, that will support them in understanding that change is possible and that they deserve change too. And so getting out of the programming, because this is our theme for March, is deprogramming and reprogramming. Get out of the programming that we have been taught that the lifestyle that we are living is okay in moderation, and realize that we have been programmed to poison ourselves, and we need to reprogram ourselves to stop poisoning ourselves and to start taking care of ourselves. Because when you look outside and you see all of these beautiful trees outside, there should be fruit hanging from them. There should not be barren trees, plenty of grass with no vegetation. There should not be all these things on our earth that produce food and they're not producing food. There should not be all of this land that is not producing food. There should not be all of this nature that has no food in it. And so get out of the programming of believing that society is here to support us, that these people who are telling us to consume in moderation are here to support us, and realize that they're not supporting us. They do not care about us, and we care about ourselves enough to reprogram our mind to what we're supposed to believe. Reprogram our mind to know that they are the ones that's harming us, and their foods are the ones that are harming us. Rather, the foods that I choose, the whole real foods that I need for myself, are going to support me and allow me to be healthy, and I can be happy with consuming them too. Because every single meal that you love can be made in a plant-based form. And do not sit there and tell yourself the lie of that it's no way it's going to taste the same, because that's false. I used to be the way of not necessarily thinking that it's not going to be the same, but I used to be the way of thinking that I can never stop eating meat. I can never stop eating dairy. Drinking dairy or eating dairy, because I was a dairy lover. I love meat. I never thought that I would be able to be living plant-based, but here I am over 3 years into the lifestyle, and I do not see myself going back. I do not see myself changing or switching back, because 1, I deserve this health that I'm living. 2, I enjoy the lifestyle that I'm living. And 3, I understand what the old lifestyle was doing to me. Looking back at old me was absolutely ridiculous, that I was living that lifestyle and suffering from being overweight from 5th grade all the way up until when I transitioned, and not understanding. And even in my healthiest point of me playing 2 sports at one time, playing sports all year round, and during the time of me playing 2 sports in one time, I was sitting there doing a diet. I was sitting there starving myself, because I knew that I was in a calorie deficit, counting calories, sitting here trying to figure out what was going to support me the best way, and playing 2 sports. So I'm sitting there doing 2 practices. I'm working out 4 hours plus a day, or however many days a week that I was doing it. But either which way, every single day I was doing some kind of activity, and that even includes the weekends, because on the weekends I had travel games. And so doing all of that, and I only lost probably 15 to 20 pounds, and I did that for about, I want to say I think I did it for 3 months with the sports, and then I did it another 3 months extended, because I was like, this is really gonna make me lose weight. Did it another 3 months extended, because I think it was right around the time where I was like, I promise coming soon, I might as well just do it. I gained that weight all back pretty quickly. I want to say within a month and a half, gained that weight back. I didn't gain more, but I did gain that weight back. All of that work, all of that time for nothing, because I was believing the facade that society told me that diet culture was going to support me. Diet culture does not support us. You have to change your habits and live the lifestyle of a healthy lifestyle. Diet culture is not going to support you, because doing diet culture, counting calories, sitting here doing all of these things, is inauthentic to me and to a lot of people. And so understanding that it's inauthentic, it's not supporting you, it's not making you happy, and it's making you put a negative connotation on you living a healthier lifestyle, which could be you losing weight, which could be you eating right. It is you eating right, but it could be you losing weight. It could be you focusing on your physique. It could be you wanting to just look better and feel better. You have to understand that the first step for you to do that thing is to become aware, to accept the change, and accept healthier habits, accept new habits, and accept that the lifestyle that you were living before was not supporting you. And then activate it. Take action towards it. You cannot sit on this. You have to take action. There is no amount of thinking that you're going to do. The action starts here right now. If you are listening to this message, you are hearing this live, you are hearing this video on YouTube, it is time for you to start doing this for yourself now. There is no waiting. There is no momentary, okay, well, I'll do it once I eat all the food in my fridge, because I did that for years of, I'll eat all the junk, I'll eat all of this, and then I'll do the diet. I'll eat all of this, and then I'll switch my lifestyle. I did that before I went plant-based. I told myself that I was going to eat all the junk that I had left, and then I was going to switch so that I didn't have to waste a whole bunch of food. it did not support me. It prolonged me going plant-based. And I did it in October that year. I started thinking about it in that summer. And so by October, I think, what was it, in August, I said, if I have not eaten this stuff by, it was like mid-August, I said, by October, I'm done. I quit. October 1st hit, and I left all the stuff there to sit there and rot on the shelves, on the fridge, whatever, on the cereal, all these things like I had that I was no longer eating. I left it there. And I didn't leave it there and get tempted by it either. I left it there because there's other people in my home that eat that stuff, and telling them, like, you can eat it if you want it. And it sat there and it sat there and it sat there, and then it got thrown away. Like, I told myself that I have accepted a new lifestyle for myself. I have new healthier habits, and I no longer eat those things. And since I did that for myself, I put the right mindset towards it. I stopped consuming it immediately. I stopped doing that to myself, and I started supporting myself. And the people in my house, at first, the people around me who heard, they thought that it was going to be momentary. I thought it was going to be momentary. I didn't even think it was going to go as long as it did. But now that I know what I know, and I feel the way that I feel, I will never go back. Because the mindset for me is to be healthy. And I know that the way that I was living before was not allowing me to be healthy. I was anxious. I was constantly suffering from anxiety, and then was suffering from depression because the anxiety would get so bad some days, some weeks, whatever. And I was mentally unstable, up and down, back and forth, trying to figure out what's going on. And that's all because of the food that I was consuming. Because if you are not getting enough nutrients, your body's in a panic. And if your body's in a panic, your mind is in a panic. And so we don't think about that. We don't think about those things. And so you have to become aware of what you're doing to your body, because you are putting your body in a distressed state. You are making your body distressed. You are making your body sit here and try to fight every single day with the foods that you are consuming, and struggling every single day because you are not giving yourself enough nutrients. It's time for you to accept the fact that what you're doing is not supporting you, and make change for yourself. And if you want change, I can support you through that. And if you want more of a personal, like, I need help with meal plans, I need grocery lists. Like, if you need a personal one-on-one talk, a chat, I do offer one-on-one sessions. You can DM me, or you can leave a comment, and I will support you through that. I will send you the link so that you can sign up for it, because sometimes people just need accountability, and that's okay. If you need accountability, that can be the accountability for you, to get you started, to get you to understand the lifestyle. And that one-on-one session will support you, because you'll be able to get you'll be able to get the plant-based meals that I send out. I do send them out. If you're on my email list, I send out plant-based meals every single week. But you'll be able to get the abundance of plant-based meals. You'll get the one-on-one accountability chat with me, which will be for 30 minutes. And for us to sit down and talk about what are the goals that you want for yourself. What is the goal? Do you want to become plant-based? Do you want healthier habits for yourself, so that you can leave yourself either which way to a healthy lifestyle? And we will ask these questions and get through. So by the end, you will have that accountability for you to be able to understand how to do these things for you to be able to make the shift for you. And then you'll have an abundance of different types of meals and foods for you to try, all through this one-on-one session. All through you knowing that it's time, and you are aware that it's time for you to accept a new lifestyle for yourself. But you have to make that acceptance. So we have to use this AAA success strategy, and understand that this success strategy is going to support us in becoming aware of what we're doing for our body, accepting the commitment to changing, and accepting the commitment that we are going to support our body, so that we can activate the lifestyle that we want, so we can activate our healthy lifestyle, and we can activate us being healthy and no longer suffering. So I truly hope that this live supports you, and that you use this strategy, you take this strategy, and you hold on to it, and you put it towards your health, because you deserve to be healthy. You deserve to be supporting yourself. You deserve the whole real foods that we were designed to be consuming, not the junk that they put on these shelves, not the crap that they give us, these GMOs. We do not deserve these foods, and you need to stop buying into them, giving yourself these foods, and making yourself a dollar sign, a consumer. And you need to start realizing that you are a human. You deserve to be treated as a person. You deserve to be treated as a human, and the foods that you are consuming are not humane. They're not okay. They are making you sick. They're leading you to be built up with toxins, inflamed, sitting here suffering, having knee pain, back pain, hip pain, sitting here dealing with painful menstrual cycles, developing PCOS, IBS, sitting here developing all of these cancers, all of these issues inside of you, dealing with constant sinuses, dealing with all of these things. And you have to realize it's the food that you're consuming. So we have to stop consuming them. We have to start supporting our body. So make change. Decide to activate the healthy life that you deserve. Decide to activate the health that you deserve. Activate your body being vibrant and energetic by making change for yourself. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope that this has truly impacted you in a positive way.